Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, yet of all praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. A couple of videos back, I was talking about the Bancroft book and talking about when the Europeans came over here and how the church had a dilemma. Remember, the church is all-knowing, supposedly over there in the three parts, and they're aware of absolutely everything. Remember, the Pope was like pretty much the representative of God here on earth. So when they got here, they had a choice of either telling the truth or coming up with their own directives and their own dogmas and make it so that it was just nothing but utter confusion. And like I said, the Most High opened my eyes to the fact that this is like a recreation of that event, except now the truth is coming out. The other nations, the priests of Mahan, they're not able to keep everyone's eyes closed anymore. Now, what you're seeing right now with the movements of the Gentiles is them trying to take control of the narrative once again. The Most High is opening our eyes. That's what this whole year of having everything shut down was, the opportunity for people to break away from the system, have the opportunity to see the truth without the distractions of this playland for the Gentiles. And remember, we said everything's going to be coming to a head because our new year starts on March 20th. So, yesterday we got that video from the pastor talking about, having to repay the so-called black people for what's happened to them. Now, it's funny because you'll hear people say like, well, that was only a snippet of the video. And he was actually talking about, that's not what he meant. See, that was a prime example of how you have to work with these Gentiles and what they say and what they write. Of course he wasn't. This is like, they said the videos are 3 years old. He did it in 2017. Of course he's not going to tell you the truth. He's not going to tell you the truth in 2017 about who we are. And he's not going to tell you the truth in 2020 about who we are. That's not his job. That's our job. That's what the men of the Most High are supposed to be doing. That's what our women are supporting us, and they're doing the same things as well. That is the prime example of eating the meat and spitting out the bones. Are you expecting a Gentile to stand up and tell you the whole truth? Or are you expecting them to give you a little snippet of the truth mixed in with a bunch of lies? That's the prime example. So people were like, well, that's not what he meant. Who cares what he meant? That one little section was what the Most High wanted us to get. And we got all of that. All the other stuff the guy must have said during the rest of the time, he's still all about that money. He's not going to tell them the whole truth. But see, we are the ones that are supposed to get a little bit here, a little bit there. Not just in the Bible, but also in other books. Also in things that they say. Also in the movies that they come up with. They don't tell you the whole thing. They just tell you little snippets here and little snippets there. And then it's up to, us being empowered, with the Holy Spirit to be able to sniff, out the truth and just discard the lies. Now, like I said, right now, it's all about the education system. Today, it was a huge push. They're making a huge push to try to get these schools open, try to get life back to normal. Listening to Biden today talking about trying to vaccinate all of the educators and people in that whole field, support staff, everyone, by the end of March. What's that around? Passover. Why is it so important for them to open the schools? Because remember now, it's all about that education. When they got over here, they had to change all types of history. They had to give people all new bywords. They had to make it seem as if they've always been in all these locations. They had to make it seem that they were always the British and they were always the Irish. They were always the Europeans. They were always the Romans. They were always the Greeks. That takes a whole lot of lies. Then they had to come over here and say there weren't animals over here. They were indigenous to the three parts. And just imagine all of the lies on top of lies on top of lies they have to teach. So when all that got shut down for a year or close to it, the Most High raised us up to start to be able to have our voices heard more and more and more. All of a sudden, yesterday there was this video about having to repay blacks for what's happened to them. Now all of a sudden today there's this huge push to try to get schools open ASAP. Why is this? See, this all goes back to Nimrod. Nimrod offered free schooling worldwide, but it was in order to indoctrinate the people, to get them away from the Most High and get them indoctrinated into their belief systems here. No different than today. Most High gave everyone their opportunity to hear this truth, get our opportunity for us to grow, for us to get more knowledge and understanding. And now and then Most High is now exposing more truth. So now all of a sudden it's like, hey, we need to get these people back into school. I don't know. I don't care what you have to offer them everything. But we need these schools open. The teachers want to be vaccinated, vaccinate them. Whatever we got to get them off this internet. We got to get them off this social media because there's so much truth that we're being exposed. Because we're getting exposed now. We got to put these people back to sleep. We got to get them, hey, all these black people, they all came from Africa. There's too much information about them being the indigenous people. Now they're talking about how they're the original Britons. Now they're talking about ley lines. We got to shut this down. You think it's a coincidence? Again, remember I told you, every day there's going to be events. There's going to be stories. We need to learn how to look at this stuff that's going on right now. It's not just as superficial as just looking at them and what they're, like they care about our kids so much all of a sudden. Do they care about our kids when they got here and they were killing them and, chopping them up, feeding them to their dogs, selling them to the highest bidder, selling them for liquor? Do they care about the kids then? No. So they care about them now? No. They care about our people waking up. That's what they care about. This is all about knowledge and understanding. They see the Holy Spirit has come and has awakened the Most High's chosen people. And they're spreading too much truth that can't be refuted. So they got to put the sheep back to sleep. So when you're talking about the whole education and opening up schools, the people got too much idle time. That's what they're thinking. And they're like, hey, we got to get these people doing something other than getting on the social media and getting bombarded with this truth. So the priests of Mahan are losing that grip. And that's what's going on right now. They've lost the grip. They've lost control of the narrative. And now there's stories coming out, just like the one yesterday, we know with that pastor, Kilpatrick, admitting the truth And people trying to deflect, oh, that's not the truth because he said that 3 years ago. And that's not what he really meant. Yeah, that's what he meant. That's what the Holy Spirit made him say at that time. It can't be refuted, what he said. People always say John 3:16. Well, you're right. John 3:16. That means he loves my people too. That's why he also loved you guys. He loved you enough to give you your opportunity to control things. He gave you guys the steering wheel, and you just slammed the car straight into a house. Most High loves us too now. So we were the ones that were doing all the work for you. We were the ones that built everything up for you. You neglected our people. You destroyed our people. That all has to be paid for. John 3:16. He loves all of us. So that means he loves us too. So right now they got their last ditch effort to open the schools. So they're trying to close people's minds to the truth. So they had hundreds of years to establish their case. And many people believed it because there was no truth in the world until the Most High woke us up. And now there's truth all over the place. The Holy Spirit is working all over the place. She's using everyone. And she's bringing out this truth for our Father. You know, and then they need more distractions. There's too much truth. Says they know what's coming. See, and now what they're saying is, we're so close. We're so close. We just need to get through these next 2 or 3 months. Have you not heard that before? How many times have they said, oh, we just need a couple more months? We're right there. We just need to get through these next 2 or 3 months. Biden today, they asked again, when will we get back to life as normal? Today, his answer was, hopefully by this time next year. Hopefully by this time next year. And they were like, well, hold on. That's different than what you said a couple of weeks ago, because a couple of weeks ago was hopefully by Christmas. So, and as they said on the news, he really doesn't know. No, he doesn't. He just hasn't told you guys that he doesn't know. Only one that does know is our Father. But see, they're trying to keep all this hush hush. They want you to still think that if you trust the science, everything's going to be okay. We can try to make it, and then now all of a sudden, we're going to get enough vaccines by the end of May that everyone that wants one can get one. So you guys are just still pushing that lie like you guys are in control. But that's okay. Our Father is letting you know that he's the one that's in control. So you guys have been able to say all these great things and all these plans you had right now. I said because you haven't had any resistance. The Most High has given you a few weeks to everything's slowing down. So you think it's going to be like this forever. Easy street. But that's not the case whatsoever. They say keep on holding on for 2 or 3 months. But then all of a sudden, Texas says they're going to open up everything. No masks. Businesses open 100%. Other states are easing restrictions. And they're saying, don't do that because we only have 2 or 3 months and we're going to have this thing beat. But they know it's not true. A lot of it is this. If they open up now and the numbers start to spike, what are they going to say? Oh, we opened up too early. Did we open up too early? That's what they said all last year. Did we open up too early? Is that why these spikes came? They're trying to take the power away from our power. They want to make it sound like the reason they're getting beat down is because of their actions, because they opened up too quickly. Instead of saying it's the punishment from the Most High. They're trying to stay out. They're trying to get, a couple steps ahead to make it seem as if they had control. They could have beaten it in 2 or 3 months, but they got a little over anxious and opened up things too soon. They're trying to, they know the judgment is here, but they're trying to make it seem as if it's their actions right now as to why things are going to get bad so fast. Yes, it is because of your actions, but it's the actions that you did towards the Most High's chosen people, and you don't want to admit that. So you're gonna pretty much self implode on yourselves, so you can blame yourselves for your destruction. But you're not slick because we already see it. So I'm sure we're gonna see more states start to open up, try to open up everything. And the people at the CDC already admitted that the cases are already going up. She already said it on Monday. They were talking earlier that they've gone up, 2%, around 2%. Death has gone up over already 2%. They'll try to downplay and say, "Oh, it's a little blip or whatever else," but we already know it's the Most High, and it's that judgment. So I'm sure when we wake up tomorrow morning, there's going to be other clues that shows you that we're quickly going to be moving into the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation for the Gentiles. So just remember that all this about the education is to keep our people dumbed down. The whole thing about opening up is just another distraction to keep people from chasing after the Most High. Because like I said, for the vast majority of you people who are in this world, it's going to be a huge surprise when everything gets switched around. But for the ones with the oil, we see all of these things coming. Most High's open our eyes to see Him at work. Keep praying every day. Noon, 6 o'clock, any other times you have set up. Just imagine, we're now only 13 months into our praying on a daily basis. And look at the changes that have happened since January of last year. Look at how we've grown. So this is absolutely amazing. And for everyone that's still supporting the channel, I really appreciate everything that you've been doing. It's been a huge help. And as you can tell, it has helped us to be able to get a lot of our books, a lot of our information, and for a lot of us to be lights unto the world. So thank you absolutely for everything. It's been a huge blessing and support, and I thank you. All praise is to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.